copper end up being thick enough that you could clean it? You know?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, when it comes out, I use, and I noticed that you have some here in the shop, which is great. But these little brass brushes, this has been used to death, but after it comes out, I give it a real good brush off. And sometimes copper comes out of the solution looking pink, sometimes it comes out brilliant, bright. You have to fool around with your electricity. And I've gotten to the point where I can usually get a bright finish right off the bat. If you don't, you can just brush it bright. It will turn into a bright copper finish with some things. So I'm just going to talk real quick because I know we need to get to and answer some more questions if you have them. But once it comes out of the bath, it's going to come out looking like copper, you know, and it's a very shiny copper. And so if you look at that, I'm not sure where the beads are that I passed around. Yeah. This one has been lacquered, but it's been lacquered for a while, so it's actually gotten a real pretty, kind of a rich looking copper patina, even under the lacquer that I put onto it. This one is the bright copper as it came out of the bath day before yesterday, and then it's been lacquered, but it has liver of sulfur for the lashings. Liver of sulfur will give you a beautiful coffee color but it can also turn the copper quite dark. And then I'm going to go out of the frame just for a second because I want to show you. I love the stained glass industry because it's given me a lot of patinas and things that I can use because they're used to patinaing on copper, right? So this, though, is very interesting. It came out brilliant, bright, shiny, and I debated, do I leave it that way or do I actually do anything with it? But it's a fern, and I really wanted the fern to be green. And so what I did is I wet it down, and then I have one of those cool salt grinders from Costco, and I covered it in salt. And then I hang it over ammonia. I don't want the ammonia, I want the fumes from the ammonia, and the fumes with the salt creates this color green. And I love that because it's natural. It's something that, you know, it's a reaction, it's a chemical reaction. And that's been lacquered now so that it won't continue to develop. And a beautiful verdigris patina on an old statue or something outside is actually damage to the metal. It's pretty, I love it, but in Europe when you see patina, you also see some pitting a lot of times. So what I'm trying to do there is something harsh to the metal to give it this great color. Now this one there's these little patina solutions, and I have it here, but it comes in a little white bottle. You can buy them at Michael's, Joann's, all these different places, and it's different types of patina you can put on. And this one is called a verdigris, but it gives you an actual green patina, whereas ammonia will give you a blue green. This gives you an actual green.
So what did you say that was?
I have it over here. It's a patina that you buy in a bottle. So I love doing these at Christmas time. I did a funky looking green and red base bead, and this is a holly leaf. So, right, any questions about this? I mean, I would leave this one in the bath. This is going to take me 2 or 3 days because it's a really big bead. I want a lot of copper on it. It's going to take me some time.
When you check on it, do you shut everything off and then take your leads off?
No, I turn this off and then I can pick it up. Even if you touched it with that on, you just feel a little zzz.
Now, Janelle, you sell this whole set?
Yeah, I can sell this set.
So is that on your website?
Yeah, it is. But actually, though, if you want one, let me know because I want to give you guys a deal, and because I didn't have them here, I'll give you free shipping. So, you know, if you want the kit, just let me know, and I'll, try to set you up.
How long did the spider take?
Probably 2 days. Probably 2 days. Yeah. The thing about it is that if you go away from your electroforming and don't check on it, it'll create these little spiky things on it. You might have seen that on some electroform pieces. The process is long and slow because it's depositing very slowly onto itself. If you force it, if you try to do it too fast, or if you never check on it and it becomes stagnant, it creates these little spiky things called dendrites. So one of the things about my process is just not pushing it too hard and not too fast, and making sure I check on it every couple of hours so it doesn't get those little spikies on it and that kind of thing. So it's a labor of love. You have to really babysit the thing.
How do you know when you've done it enough, though? What are the indications?
every piece of it's covered, like on that fern. That took several days, and it was frustrating because there were like just a few leaves that wouldn't go for some reason. So I had to take it out, dry it, repaint those parts, put it back in, make sure they were thick enough. And so I don't know, it's a look, it's just a feel that I have. For some reason, like this one wouldn't have taken that long. This isn't very thick, I just really needed the effect of the copper on it. So.
What kind of lacquer do you use?
What kind of?
Lacquer do you use?
Lacquer? Tough as Nails from Sally Hansen. It works great, and it's cheap, and a bottle lasts for a really long time. Yeah. Yeah. Avoid the onion scent stuff because it just doesn't seem to hold up. But the Tough as Nails from Sally Hansen is great. And I've heard that, I remember in Seattle one time I got all creative and I decided I'm going to dip a blackberry, because there's blackberries everywhere there. I'm going to dip an actual blackberry, a ripe blackberry, in the paint and electroform it. It electroformed, but a couple of days later juice started leaking. So, they do say that if you're going to do something like that, which you can, but you want to dip it in the lacquer and make sure it's completely encased in lacquer, and then you dip it in the electroforming paint. I really thought I'd got it good, but I must have had a little space where some juice could leak out.
Once it leaked out, it was okay, right?
What's that?
Well, after it leaked out, it was okay.
Well, yeah, I kind of gave up. I thought maybe I should have put the lacquer down first or something, but I tried all kinds of different things, and I'm the worst person to go on a forest walk with, because I'm not looking. I'm looking at the birds and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really neat. Oh wow, I can see that on the top of something. Yeah. And I go to the scrapbooking aisle. And I find things that I can attach to my bead and then lash or whatever. I did one for an auction one time, and I found the word hope, and it was already metal, and it had beads on it. It was cool, and I lashed it to the thing, and then I electroformed it, and neat, So it was for a breast cancer auction. Any other questions?
Did you take geology?
No, not at all. I'm a mass communications major. I don't know. I just love this stuff, and it just seems so back to nature to me, and you're creating metal on something that's just so cool.
Maybe I missed it, but about how much does it get around?
It's normally $3.15. For you guys, it's $2.95, and I'll give you free shipping. So I can tell you that the machines run around 100, and by the time you buy all the chemicals and put everything together, it's quite the process, and just finding these is hard these days for some reason. I've heard it's Chinese New Year and they're not shipping. I've heard everything from my suppliers. So, but I'll be getting, when I do get them, I get them in like 12 at a time so that I'm well stocked. All right, any other questions? So I want to show you in the second demo, I want to show you how to make a perfume bottle. It just happens to be one of my favorite things, and people think they can't make a little vessel or whatever, but this is done on the end of a mandrel. So yes, it's making a hollow bead, which is difficult for some people, but I show you that it's not necessarily the technical process that it needs to be right. It's kind of lumpy and bumpy, and it turns into a cool little perfume bottle. Thank you. Back over there.